What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. In today's video, we're going to be going over the ICP test results for the new 300-gallon build. Now, the system just hit 4 months old. I figured I'd go ahead and throw this test out, come back and see what the results are, and really kind of make any adjustments that I need to the tank. And I'm going to cover all those adjustments here in this video and kind of what my future plans are for this build. So let's go and get into it. All right, before we dive into these results, let me give you a little bit of background on the system. Now, I haven't done a water change on this tank for 45 days prior to sending the test out. No reason other than the fact that the tank looked like it was lacking in nutrients, regardless of how much food I fed and how many fish are in there. So that's the reason why I didn't do a water change. And the next thing, I also added the calcium reactor about 2 to 3 weeks prior. And you guys will see that they said that I had lower calcium levels, but honestly, they were in a perfect range that I run all my tanks in. The next thing you guys will also notice is that the magnesium level is at 1500, and I knew that going into it. I had a bad batch of salt through HW Marine Mix, which was kind of strange. I've never had elevated magnesium levels in salt before, but regardless, I ended up getting up to 1500. It's slowly coming down. It's just obviously taking a while, being that it is magnesium. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into these results. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at here is the data tab and unwanted heavy metals. As you guys can see, there's nothing here but aluminum. And yes, guys, that is from the Marine Pure block. Without a doubt, 100%, that is from the one 8x8 by 4-inch Marine Pure block that I have in the system. And it's in a safe range, so it's not anywhere near where it's going to cause damage to the tank. But I will tell you now that I'm going to leave this Marine Pure block in here, and when I do this test again in 3 months, if it's higher than what came in this time around, I'm pulling that Marine Pure block out of the system completely. Now, I do have Marine Pure in my 30-gallon, which is fine. I took all of it out of my frag tank, and things are starting to look up. I did have 5 blocks in there, so you got to think, whatever this is going into a 300-gallon system, I had 5 of those blocks in a 150 or 200-gallon system. So I never did an ICP test on that, so I can't really tell you if it was elevated in that. But then if you go back in time, if you guys have been following the 125, I've had 6 8x8 by 4-inch Marine Pure blocks in that system, and you guys could see that it turned out just fine. So they didn't have ICP testing back there. I wish they did, so I can actually see what I was running for aluminum. But without a doubt, if it goes up any higher, I'm pulling that Marine Pure block out. All right, moving down to macro elements here. Now, you guys notice that it is 380 gallons. I actually just calculated that based on the amount of salt it took to get it to 1.025 when setting up the system. And I guess the sump holds a lot more water than I thought it did. All right, so moving into here, as you guys can see, the sodium is normal range. Calcium, they said it was a little low at 433, which I usually keep mine at 420. I guess they wanted me at 440. Magnesium, as I mentioned, 1493. And then we got the potassium is a little low, to be expected. Let's go down here. Boron, again, a little low. And that's it for the macro elements. Moving down here, we have lithium. Now, I looked this up because I haven't really heard too much about lithium. I looked it up. It's pretty much comes from your salt. So basically, it's whatever is in my salt is causing the lithium levels. And it is in a normal range. It's not horrible. If it does go up a little bit higher, I will probably see about switching salts or trying to figure out where it's coming from. Or maybe I'll just take an ICP test of my salt mix and see what I get from that. Now, moving down, nickel is at 0. It should be at 5, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Molybdenum, that's how you pronounce it, again, is a little low, and we're going to adjust that in our dosing. Moving down here, vanadium is a little low. It should be up, and we'll talk about that later. Zinc, low. Manganese is low, being at 0. And iodine is definitely low. And I can tell you guys right now, when it came to the iodine, I could just see it in the macroalgae. When the macroalgae is light in color, it's not only has to do with your nutrients in the tank, but also the iodine level. And with me having low nutrients already, on top of the very low iodine level, the macroalgae looks practically white, but it is still growing and it's still alive. So hopefully when we make that adjustment, it will change its color. All right, so moving down here, all this stuff is fine. This stuff is fine here. All right, so this is the last group here. We have the nutrient group. So as you can see, my phosphates are pretty damn low. Basically, they said feed more. That's what I've been doing. I've been feeding a ton of food to this tank, and I know exactly what it is. My system runs that Nios Quantum 300 skimmer, which is rated for a 500 to 1,000 gallon tank. And I'll tell you right now, this skimmer is OP, or overpowered. I guess that's a gaming term or whatever, but it's overpowered without a doubt. And it strips the tank. I did have this skimmer on my frag system, and I'll tell you right now, when I took that skimmer off and replaced it with the Curve 7, that's when that frag tank started taking a shit. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together, and we'll talk about that system in depth a little bit later and kind of what I figured out and what I'm going to do to fix it. Now, let's go to move over to the dosing tab, and I'll go through this each element and tell you what I'm going to do to fix it, show you the links and all that kind of stuff, and give you future kind of rundown on what I'm going to do with this system. All right, so let's go and look underneath the very important for your aquarium tab. Now, calcium, of course, we're taking care of that with the calcium reactor. I didn't feel the number was that big of a deal, but again, we're going to make all those adjustments for the calcium reactor, so no worries. Moving down here to potassium. Now, that definitely explains why there is a pale coloration in my acropora, and we're going to go ahead and adjust this dose and continue to dose it with the Triton Potassium here on bulkreefsupply.com. So I already ordered it. It'll be here in a couple days, and we're going to go ahead and do the dosing recommended that they have here, which is the first 2 days we're going to do 287 milliliters, and then on the third day we're going to go and do the 107. It'll be good to go with that. Now, I am going to go ahead and do this Triton test again here in 3 months, so I might actually dose some of it in between. I'll let you guys know what I plan on doing with that. Now, moving down to the important for your aquarium tab, we have the lack of iodine, which I knew right off the bat with the macroalgae coloration and some of the lack of green in the tank there. It's definitely iodine, without a doubt. So we're going to go ahead and make that adjustment with the Triton based iodine here. We're going to pick up the 100 milliliter one and make that initial adjustment. Now, I'm probably not going to do the recommended maintenance weekly dose, because there's a product that I use for the rest of this stuff, or the majority of this stuff, that already has iodine in it. So I'm probably not going to do that. And speaking of that, let's go to move down to boron, which does help with SPS coloration. So I'm going to make that adjustment with the product that I've been using here for a couple years, and that is the Reef Plus from Seachem. I've been using this stuff for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years, something like that. It's definitely been a while, and I really love it. I haven't talked about it on the channel. I don't really know why I haven't, but I guess I just haven't done it. And if you guys look on the back of this label here, it comes with boron and that iodine. So there's no reason to dose that weekly amount if I'm back to my normal dose with this Reef Plus. Now, a quick note on that: when I start this product on a new tank, I always do half the recommended dose. And for this 300 gallon, half of that recommended dose would be 75 milliliters a week. That's about half. And what I should be dosing is about 95 milliliters twice a week. And since these levels are low, I'm going to go ahead and go to the normal recommended dose of approximately 200 milliliters a week on that 300 gallon reef. So we'll come back to this here in a second for the rest of the elements. And so we got iodine, boron out of the way. So let's go and talk about strontium, and we might as well throw in this molybdenum. Denum, whatever, however you pronounce it. And how I usually correct this is the stuff that I have sitting on my shelf here, and that is the Kent Marine Strontium molybdenum product. I've been using this stuff again for a few years. I haven't put it on the reef tank because I just wanted to wait for this test to come in and kind of see how things were before I added any more extra dosing or any special programs. It's basically just the calcium reactor. That's it. And since it is low, we're going to go ahead and start dosing this product. I was going to give you guys an Amazon link, but it's definitely cheaper here on Marine Depot, so go ahead and get it from them. And so that takes care of the strontium, the molybdenum, whatever, man. I can't stand that that name there. And so let's go ahead and move down to vanadium. Mother trucker, man. I'm telling you, these, either I'm retarded or I don't know how to speak. One of the two. Anyways, we're going to come through over here and see that that is also on Reef Plus here. So we're going to take care of it with that. Moving down. Manganese again on the Reef Plus. All right. And moving down even further to the fine-tuning elements, we have the nickel, which is, I believe, on here as well. Yep, at the bottom there, right above tin. Nickel's taken care of. Zinc should also be on here. Yep, it is. And yeah, that's it. So that's everything that they recommend that I dose. Even the fine-tuning stuff is all on these products that I'm picking up. So a quick overview. We're going to kick our potassium. We're going to get that from Bulk Reef Supply through Triton, and our iodine. Then we're going to get all our minor elements for the exception of strontium and molybdenum from our Kent product here. So that will take care of everything. And these two, I've been doing this stuff basically from the beginning of reef tanks. So I'm already using this stuff, but we are going to add these to get our better adjustments. But yeah, so that's about it for this. Definitely rambled along on this video. Hope you guys like it. I'm not cutting it out. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and make these adjustments. I will be doing this test again in 3 months, and I will not be doing any water changes from this point forward until I do the test again, just to kind of see how the levels play out. So either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.